Welcome back, everyone, to the BeTechly and Microsoft 365 Community Conference Scheduled Preview Series 2026. We're officially 1 week out, and the full conference schedule is now live. This is the perfect moment to explore sessions, map out your days, and get excited for what's coming. Today, we'll guide you through this year's career shaping pillar topics, sharing previews of the content, the experience, and helpful tips to make the most out of your time in Orlando. Today, we're turning our focus to one of the core themes of this year's conference: information management, search, and knowledge management. This session looks at how organizations move beyond simply turning features on, using intelligent search, scope agents, and SharePoint grounded knowledge to surface the right information at the right moment, reduce work, and confidently embed Copilot and Microsoft 365 into everyday work. At this year's conference, Information Management, Search, and Knowledge Management features 31 sessions. So, to start, we'll show you how to locate these sessions by applying filters and begin planning your conference experience right away. So, first step, head over to nextgen365events.com, and from the top navigation, select Sessions. Once you're on the sessions page, you'll see options to refine your results. You can filter sessions in several ways, like by type, by day, level, industry focus, speaker, or topic, to quickly find what's most relevant to you. But for now, we'll choose topic, and then we'll select information management, search, and knowledge management. There you go. Well, as you can see, there's no additional steps required. Selecting a topic automatically filters the session for you, making it easy to scroll through and explore full range of content available for this topic at the conference. Now, let's try to see a specific session from our sponsor today. So let's filter by speaker name and let's put in there Shri. There you go. Now, if you click into that individual session or any individual session, you'll be able to see. There we go. All right. And then if you click on the individual sessions, as I've mentioned, you'll be able to see the date and time, the full session details, which make it easier to decide what you wanted to attend. Along with breakout sessions, the conference also features hands-on workshop. These immersive sessions go deeper, giving you dedicated time to learn, explore, and apply ideas in an interactive setting. Perfect for putting concepts into practice. As you build your schedule, please keep in mind that the sessions are first come, first serve. Each room has limited capacity. Some sessions fill up quickly, so we strongly recommend planning early and having a clear idea of what you'd like to attend. Beyond the session content, this year conference will also feature more than 70 exhibitors and sponsors. They'll be offering hands-on experiences, engaging booth activations, and in many cases, their own sessions and deeper dive opportunities throughout the event. Today, you'll get a preview from this year's sponsor highlighting what they're planning and what attendee can look forward to at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. I'd like to introduce our sponsors for today, Adil and Shrikant at SmartTech.
Thanks, Ella.
Thank you. Hi.
Sweet. So we'll be touching base on next Thursday. I believe next Thursday we'll be touching base for a 45-minute session on April 23rd from 11:45 to 12:30 in the room Banda C1 in Orlando. We will be talking a little bit about Microsoft Copilot and how deploying agentic AI inside Microsoft is becoming more of a reality to not just having chatbots, but to having full, agentic AI and autonomous AI. A little bit about our journey. Like I mentioned, we were founded in 2006. Our founder is local to the Seattle area, and we founded our enterprise software engineering uh, company in 2006, and we expanded into Fortune 500 accounts. And as we grew, we went from just a business consulting company all the way to a global engineering powerhouse, where we've completed over 500 enterprise projects. We've delivered over 800 million in documented client savings, and our average client relationship is around 15 years. As the journey continued, we became a certified Microsoft partner. We launched our AWS cloud practice, and we've achieved a lot of awards throughout the years. Post COVID in 2020 to 2023, we opened up our AI and ML Center of Excellence. We were recognized in Gartner's Magic Quadrant, and more recently, we acquired multiple design and UI and UX firms. And now we've also become the official technology partner of the Seattle Sounders, which is a local Seattle FC club, soccer club here in Seattle. And we have also partnered with SoundHound AI to help deploy and integrate their platforms. Can go to the next slide. Here are a list of not just these, but some of our core capabilities. Like innovation design, digital engineering, AI-driven data and analytics, on cloud and on-prem infrastructure solutions, and cybersecurity. We do a lot of different things within these various buckets, and we like to help automate a lot of these solutions that we offer as well to save the client time, money, and energy. And we like to deliver in properly within our teams. We can go to the next slide. I will let Srikanth introduce a little bit about our topic and about what we'll be speaking about at the event.
Hey, hi everyone. This is Srikanth Parimi. I'll be the one who will be taking the major topic right here, where we're actually going to discuss how we are actually doing from an co-pilot to a co-worker, where the transition or the gap is between where the industry is actually going, what is the difference between the right now where we are actually standing, and what is the 18 months roadmap towards what can be achieved using Copilot and multiple agentic AI models. And we're going to deep dive into a spectrum of things where we're going to clearly give a path of a 90-day where you have a production working model. It's not as an agent. It's not as a it's a not a prompt, but it works as a coworker that helps you resolve issues and get the ground running for you guys, and it's going to be a heavy transformation. So I'll get the thing started. Let's start with the basic of as of today. There is like a lot of industries that specifically the technology industries are adapting to Copilot, and we are using day to day for all the active developments ongoing. But most of the scenarios, if you see the IDC research data, it clearly mentions that out of 65% of the enterprise Microsoft AI deployments that are happening as of today, there is only 10 to 15% of active usage. So what are we actually missing? That's the key question that needs to be asked. Why is the fuzziness between using Copilot than why I can't use a different model or an agent to give me an answer? So it's the answer lies. It's kind of like it's not. I don't say that it is a bad technology. Rather than the Copilot is genuinely impressive, and it has a very strong knowledge and practice, practice that you can actually develop and do fundamental difference that you have with the speed of how you're actually developing as of day to day. But it's more used as a search engine, or which can give information that you can use to work on a certain task or build a certain workflow, but not it is not agile enough to get the task done start to finish and it doesn't do as a co-worker as of today. So the organizations that figure this out in next 18 months, it's going to be operational fundamentally faster than any other organizations. It is structurally different, not I don't say it is incrementally faster, but the whole plan itself is to be structurally different. That how the agentic AI inbuilt with the copilot and the agents can ease or transform the entire industry landscape instead of just using that as a search engine. All right. So think about it kind of like when a workflow usually takes, it's kind of like from intake, triage, then you route any escalations, you have resolutions. It takes a day to four at max, and with the same steps in the loop, with having a human interventions at certain cases where it's necessary. And the same task that takes a day or a four, that can be resolved in an hour or two. So that's the speed of resolution that can be achieved by using just not the copilot is not for a prompt purpose, and also just not as a search engine, rather than you can use that as an agent, you know. So basically we're gonna the entire session we're gonna deep dive into multiple aspects of things. So the first is the framework of what is the basic difference between a co-pilot and an agent, what we are talking about, what is the major architecture or an actual architecture, or what are the layers in between these architectures that can be used for production grade, even if you want to use for a Microsoft Graph integrations or routing intelligence, on just it's not just automation, but it is you can use it for most effective talks, and also that you can actually skip at certain parts, and we are going to talk more on hallucinations, which you all gonna definitely love it. So it is as I was mentioning before, we did already. It's not that we are talking about it. We did implement the practice in a couple of organizations that we are actively working with, and which is currently in live and production. I know many of the organizations suffer today getting an agent running pretty well in the lower environments, like in a sandbox or a test grounds. And when you actually feed the system, the enterprise system data to that, it falls a little apart, and it doesn't hit the production standard, as you're actually testing as a pilot project in the lower environments, right? So we're gonna talk about the entire spectrum of things that will be going in for converting or better usage of a co-pilot in the most organizations, to be a brilliant individual level, and as it works more as a knowledge worker, producing some productivity inside the work, rather than just spitting out the information which you need to absorb and build on top of that and solve a certain problem. It helps you solve the problem by itself. This and let's talk about the okay. Let's be in particularly, and a co-pilot actually is it, and in the most organizations, I think the model or the approach itself is wrong. What we are actually looking at it, Copilot is brilliant at the individual level, and it genuinely broadcasts like a working knowledge to productions. It reacts, it waits, and also it responds. And when you ask a question, it is a best assistant that you can have, but it can never be as a coworker, because the coworker doesn't wait for you to ask or do certain stuff. In a certain situations, it takes the judgment calls, routes the right thing into the right person's thing, and it does already do escalate. And also you have a fundamental step that you can always include, that has a like human intervention, where you have critical scenarios for an approval. It takes that definitive action before it actually executes or had certain things that needs to be rolled out, right? So it acts more like a co-worker thing than you are just giving a good response or a good information, and you're acting as an assistant. So most of the industries as of today, even they are using this copilot as just as an assistant, and where we are actually trying to put that it is not an assistant, it is multi-layered, that you can actually treat it or develop that as an agent, which can be used for multiple purposes. So let's a little deep dive into the architecture of how we are actually doing this, into the things as of today. So every production agent deployed in the M365 live across like multiple layers to each other. So major things that I would stage it kind of like Microsoft 365 Copilot. Whether you have used or not, it's a Copilot Studio, it's a Power Platform, you have Azure AI Foundry, plus your data. So it will always have that data in place where it gets all the context from, right? So this is the major layers that I would put together for actively converting the Copilot into a coworker. And if you see that, if you're facing any intelligent, you know what, you I would keep it much simpler, kind of like, if the information that you're getting, is not propagating to a solution, or it's not driving the cause to solve a problem, then it's not actually meeting its purpose. So like the same thing, like Microsoft, like Copilot. Um, this the 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 Copilot experience of the people, it's kind of like familiar, like when you know on the set stuff, it is pretty much similar to what I'm talking about at this point. And when you have Copilot Studio, it's an agent builder, right? So it has a connection hubs. It is where you define what the agent does, what it can access to, how it responds to a trigger. If you have spent time in the Copilot Studio anytime recently or in the past, there was a lot of development, a significant development, I would say, that happened in the past 12 months. That would blow your mind off. You should definitely check out the Copilot Studio. And on the third layer, or the next layer that I would add to this, is the Power Platform. So it gives the workflow orchestration, the RPA, or whatever you use it, other than a different thing. This is actually connection between an AI intelligence layer and your actual business system. So the Power Automate is doing more heavy lifting in the production agent architecture, and it also it architects, it realize and architects on top of that. So that the last and final layer for this one is as AI, Azure AI Foundry, that plus your data. So all the custom models that we are actually developing, whether it's a RAG pipelines, on the knowledge groundings, these layers is optional or a simple for at least a simple use case. But as soon as you need an agent for a reason, about for a specific context, your historical data and your organizational specific knowledge is where you actually go. So because the tribal knowledge that your organizational have will always serve as a context for the model that you're actually trying to build for a certain purpose. So any model cannot perform all the tasks. It all needs to be agentic, kind of like needs to be, each model does its own operations, which needs to be orchestrated, and also it needs to have a specific context and with the right set of permissions. So there is different documentational intelligence that it needs, and then approval orchestration, and also it needs an intake and a route. So to see if they what is the specific route that it's going to take. If I want in a simple context of how we want to summarize my emails, give me a compiled email, and if I want to send a notification to certain people, or if I have a contracts that are getting expired in next 60 days, which is pointing to my SharePoint library, why don't you actually spit me out and give me a reminder out of it so that I can properly act on it, or at least flag something like that, right? So the proper context to that particular engine or an agent, and all top of that, giving a approval orchestration and also documentation intelligence, pretty important for any agent to efficiently work. So that's the major architecture that we will be deep diving into the main session. I would not disclose everything that we're going to take in the session that we are actually going to discuss, but this is the very gist of what we are going to take, what we're going to talk through. We're going to talk through on the security. We will be talking through the data pipelines. What is the context? How the context switching works? What is the in memories? How are we using? How we are actually moving through different agents. We will be discussing more on that. Coming to the next slide, this is more of a realistic problem that we are trying to state, and which we have actively solved in multiple clients as of today, and we already have it in production. It's running live. So usually for any ITSM platform you can pick, or any support model as of today, the request, there is a manual triage usually just steps in. You assign that triage, and you have built the context towards that, and you create a ticket, and you notify it, you triage, and you resolve. So if you're having a bunch of flow of tickets that's coming into the queue, on an average it takes at least like a 3-day period for resolving a ticket from the time it start originating, right? So with the same thing with an agent and the co-pilot agent, which have all the tribal knowledge, and you have all the document integrations, and it has all the historical knowledge on a certain task, which already exists in the past. It looks up everything. It triages by itself. It knows what to do. You don't need to give more inputs towards that, and you can always have a human in the loop to verify, to check like, okay, these all systems works absolutely fine, and you can just yeah, like you click a merge button, you just click to deploy, or just act on the particular ticket. So it runs pretty fast, and except the approval state, or you need some manual things that needs to be added, or you want the flow to take a different path altogether, kind of like, okay, I want X to go to Z before you come to Y. So it takes a different path, and you can have your own checks and balances routed in, and you can keep it, and you can add, or you can build your own templates or playbooks or whatever you're going to call it. And the agent's going to follow through the same process and procedure. It's not going to deviate. The context is going to be pretty much on the same. So there is no hallucination happening there. So it can be done less than 4 hours. It's very optimal, very like liberal. It's 4 hours, but it can done less than an hour, I would say. So this is what we actually do at this multiple agentic AI factories with different clients of ours. We build a couple of agents for all their ITSM needs. We do have a successful client with a successful story, which automated almost like 90% of the L1 tickets using the orchestration and the models. And we have implemented all the AI governance security on top of that, which we are actively and successfully running from past year.
Sweet. But yeah, I'll just touch a little bit base. We don't really need the slide deck. A little bit of what Sri was talking about. He dove really deep, a little bit deeper than most people, not like normal people would know. Right? If you're technical, obviously you'd be attending this conference and you'll be understanding what he's trying to say. But from a high level perspective about what we're going to be talking about is right now AI in general, right? Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, all of these AI systems, they are surface level at the moment, right? You can get deeper and you can dive deeper and you can make it autonomous and you can build it within your systems, but that takes, time, energy, technology, innovation, stuff like that, right? And so what we're going to be talking about is, hey, right now everybody's talking about AI. AI is it's hype. It's up there. It's not just a theory anymore. It's not just something people use as a buzzword. It's legitimate and it's real and it's here. And what we are doing at Smart Tech and what Shri and his team are doing specifically is finding ways to automate our clients' systems utilizing AI and finding ways to increase revenue and decrease costs utilizing AI. And that's kind of what we'll be talking about um, on Thursday, next Thursday. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
Thank you for
Sorry,
guiding.
Shri.
Sorry, my internet just dropped.
No worries, no worries. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Ella. I don't know if we have any questions. I don't see any questions here right now. Um, but yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shri and
Yep.
Adil, for that walkthrough. And for sure, everyone is looking forward and excited to see what they are looking forward, at your session, what you could bring at this conference. So, Shri, I think your internet connection is also such on the perfect timing because it's like on a perfect session right there. So for sure they'll be excited to see what you got on the conference. Well, everyone, as we wrap up, a few important reminders. If you're registered, keep an eye out for your invite at the conference to the conference mobile app Buva, where you'll be able to build your personal schedule, create meetups, and plan your days in more details. If you haven't registered yet for the Microsoft 365 Community Conference, you still have time to save 150 on your conference pass by using your code SAVE150. And if you're part of a small business or nonprofit, grant applications are still open. Visit us at change3e.com/grants or just scan the QR code on your screen. If you have questions, you can always reach out to the team at info@nextgen365events.com or connect with us on site in Orlando. Our goal is simple: to help you have the best possible experience at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and we can't wait to see you in Orlando. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.